Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret gridiron bunker beneath Bolsdorf Field. Now, let's meet the captains of today's podcast.
Welcome to this edition of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Still moving strong through season number 2 here, which is hard to believe, but hey, 2023 is off and rolling, and I see Troy brought my water from his home all the way out here to the bunker deep beneath Bolsdorf Field on the beautiful campus of Waldorf University in Forest City, Iowa. So. Yeah, we're going to continue down this path of talking to some of our stars, our players, those guys that are making waves in practice, and we expect big things. So what we did this time, Troy, is we brought in Waldorf's very own linebacker, number 46. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Nathaniel, or Nate, what do you prefer, Mr. Davis?
I prefer going by Nate.
Nate, okay, because... Did you know that?
You just jumped right. There was an applause button that I was ready to play, and it didn't work on the previous week. So
oh yeah, you did not.
Didn't do a good job, and
Well, I would have. I could hear.
Sorry about that.
I got that.
I was all ready to go this time.
Yeah, right.
And
didn't work.
Didn't get it. Yeah.
So the interesting part is that Will Strickland, I think his given name is not Will. There's an IE on the end of it. He doesn't prefer that.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
Now, I don't want him on the south side of wanting to hurt me. So
I would say stay away from that.
Well, yeah, and that's what's on his nameplate on his locker. And I'm like, ooh, man, that ain't good. That ain't good.
We're learning all kinds of new names
Nate,
for everybody this season, though. It's been
yeah,
pretty fun so far. Yeah.
Did you know your head coach's given name, Nate?
No.
You know, because they call him Chase. Well, you call him Coach. It's Chase Paramore. But Coach Silva and he were roommates down at Sagu. And he had to drop in there. Well, when Chasen, stop the bus. What's going on? Back up a little bit. What did you just say? Chasen. His name's Chasen. So we still get a kick out of that. But hey, good Christian name. So anyway, enough about that guy. Nate hails from Inglewood, California, and Westlake High School.
Yes, sir. Westlake High School.
Okay, and where's all this by?
Well, Inglewood is by like 10, 15 minutes from outside of LAX.
Okay.
Like literally 2 streets away. And Westlake Village is actually like hour and a half, not hour and a half, but more like an hour, 40, 45 minutes away.
So it was quite a drive to get to school.
Yeah, well, when I went there, I used to live in Thousand Oaks, so probably like 20 minutes past there. But then after I went to school, my mom went back and relocated back to Inglewood.
Okay. All right. What's fun to do in Inglewood?
I mean, a lot of things. We can go to Top Golf. You can go see a concert. You can go see a football game.
You can do everything.
Kind of. It's
everything.
like it's starting to be the new downtown.
Yeah. So,
Top Golf. You mentioned Top Golf. You golf?
A little bit.
You and Coach Choppa should get out on the link sometime because
I need your help.
He thinks he's a golfer.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there is, especially with the coaching staff. I think they all like to golf quite a bit.
I think so too.
Yeah. So you guys go out there and show them what's what.
I mean, I'm a little rusty, but we can see what's going on.
All right. Well, you might have to have the family ship your clubs out unless you can just pick up any old set.
You know what's funny? I actually do have some clubs that they do need to ship out. My great grandfather had passed away. He lived in Connecticut.
Oh wow.
Well, actually, he lived in New Jersey, but my great grandfather lives in Connecticut.
Okay.
So his father lived in Jersey and gave me his clubs, brand new clubs, never been used.
Oh
Oh my goodness!
Holy smokes!
We just put that out to the world. They're like, yeah, we'll make it. Let us know when you get those. Wow!
We'll make a stop by Waldorf.
Heck yeah!
So is the family originally
like that though? I mean, you might want to play with Coach Chop and get involved with the Waldorf, the Warrior tournament that we have in the June usually.
Don't know,
around Father's Day somewhere in there. So yeah, you stick around in the summer or you go. Back to Englewood. You hang around for a while, and then
I work for a couple more weeks. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, Andy, I jumped.
No, that's all right. I don't even remember exactly where I was going because age.
Yeah,
one of those things. Being the old guy, definitely does not have.
We did establish Nate, though. It is Nate. Prefer Nate, and it's Nathaniel. Yeah,
and that's what I mean. That's how I refer to him when I see him. But when you look at like the roster.
Yeah, I've learned that. Oh, you bet.
Well, and it's interesting because you're on a few different rosters, college rosters, because you were at Benedictine before Waldorf. So now, how do you is it Benedictine or Benedictine?
Preferably, it's Benedictine. I mean, Benedictine. It's all in the same.
Well, okay, and the reason
that straight answer on that.
Well, because last week's episode was Edwan Works, and Edwan came from Benedict. He says teen, and you say tin, and Callie Finley says Benedictine.
I always thought that was related to some sort of a strange accent. Mm-hmm.
Well, it could be.
So I thought so as well. Like,
yeah,
because in the school, some people will say Benedictine, some people will say Benedictine, and this is from like upper, higher level admin and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's confusion there even at the high administration levels. And I just remember having back when you could be a member of certain CD sending clubs that did at one point have the Benedictine monks. They were big for a month. And I got that from Columbia, probably. Never paid them, I'm sure.
Well, it was once.
Sure, I never did.
Yeah, you probably never got in on that in your life, did you? Where you had to order CDs? It's all been digital.
Oh man,
see what?
Yeah. I used to order CDs just based totally on what the cover of the cover art was. You know? So you guaranteed I got Blink 182 that way.
Ooh, sorry to hear that.
It was nice. It was good.
Good cover.
Good cover.
Yeah. All right. So you're in the stable of linebackers here at Waldorf. And as we've learned on previous episodes, is our former defensive line coach, Coach Mike Gould. Coach Gould has now moved over to linebackers, and Nate and I were having a conversation prior to the podcast about Coach Gould. Do you want to just kind of set us up a little bit? What kind of coach this guy is?
Hear that story.
Personally, how I see Coach Gould, he came in and I personally didn't know that he played linebacker.
Yeah.
So when he said that to the meeting room, I instantly locked in. I was like, okay, here we go. And I'm saying this because it's stuff that stuck with me because it's more than just playing the sport and being a linebacker because it's a mindset to it. We go by Junkyard Dogs, JYDs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're taught to be the meanest, the most attention to detail, the most sound people on the field on the defensive side. So what he came in and did was establish that a way of thinking in that way. And we all homed in and got to work. Started working on things day by day, breaking little habits, and then coming together. Like we're probably like 4th, 5th practice in.
Yeah.
And we're almost fully installed. Like we understand stuff that we can run and stuff that we can't. And the stuff that we can is limited, really limited. So the more we learn in practice, the better we can run more plays and stuff like that. So, I mean, he came in and I feel like we're turning around and we're on a right path.
Yeah. And we've had some good guys there in the middle. Nico Marasco was our middle guy last year quite a bit, a lot of tackles. But when you think of defense this day and age, and even as I was coming up, it's like the folks that stood out are always your linebackers. Yeah, there's some good defensive linemen and things, because if they're really good, they make their presence known. But it's those hammers in the middle, just a few yards away, that really have to do their job. Those are the ones that everybody remembers. Unless you get some crazy edge guy or something like that that's bigger than everybody else and is running a 4.6 40 or some crap like that. But yeah, linebackers, that's a lot of fun, is it not?
It's it's way more than fun. It's exhilarating. Like, even when I played in high school, the people that I played against, Darnay Holmes, whole lot of people that are in the NFL right now.
Right.
Even Kayvon Thibodeau, that's one of my, we used to play go at it in Pop Warner. So just to know that they're there, and that I'm able to still make it at this level, and compete at a high level, it just means the world to me. It brings purpose to it.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be pretty exciting too. Just that Waldorf has always had, I shouldn't say not always, over the last few seasons has had a stellar defense in the fact that we've got good guys on the edge, good guys in the middle, good linebackers, great secondary, all that stuff. And you're coming in now really as that one of those senior leaders that's going to be able to make an impact on the field. Who all do we have as our stable of linebackers? Because we don't have really a lot of people returning. Some, obviously you, but who else do we got out there that you guys are, at gelling as a team and in your room?
Well, our room actually has some new additions. So we also have a transfer guy named Dalton. I forgot his last name, but Dalton came in from Sagu.
Right,
one of those hard hitters. Attention to detail, very sound, very locked in, and bonding pretty good, getting to know the playbook a lot.
Yep.
And you see the performance in practice. You see it, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
As well as we have Roland, used to be a receiver.
Yep.
He came over to be a linebacker and didn't complain about it, didn't cry about it. He came in, first day, notepad, started working.
Yep.
And getting better and better as the days coming. Aiden Davidson.
Yep.
Another one that's getting better.
He's a young guy.
Yes, sir. Young guy, but he has a lot of potential coming in here.
Sure does.
A lot of time and potential, and he's going to do a lot of great things as soon as I'm gone.
Yeah.
We're all going. Even when I'm here, a lot of great things are going to happen.
Yep.
With this group of guys. So I'm really excited for it, and I can't wait.
That's a tough part for Troy and I. We talk to you guys, and we see little glimpses. You guys are obviously out there putting in the work, but I get excited before every season. We've talked over the last quite a few weeks with some of the coaches. That gets the excitement level up. But when we get down to the boots on the ground, these guys that are actually doing it in the trenches, I'm sorry, end of August can't come soon enough. I mean, that'd kill the summer, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Time, all this snow to be gone and the trees to be green.
Yeah, right. Well, there's that too. We're talking, want to get that football. It just smells different. There is that, football season feeling that we can't wait for it. But we also realize that the time between now and when you show up for camp at the beginning of August, that this is all preparing, and we're going to find out who did the work and who did not do the work. So you guys are set to pop smoke, as we used to say in the Army, from campus here within a couple of weeks, and that means that are you going back to California then for the summer, or do you stay here?
I'll be going back, but I'll be here for like a couple more weeks.
Okay,
right. More.
Okay, so then what happens? When everybody splits and then they come back together again in August, that's where the rubber hits the road. And it sounds like that from what we've heard from coaches and what we've heard from some players already, that there is a good buy-in, that it seems like people are willing to put in the work. You're in spring ball, so you're You're obviously seeing where some of that is going in all the different position groups. Do you think that when you come back that you guys will be locked and loaded, or will it be a little bit of a game of catch up for the first week?
Well, for starters, I don't think we even have a week to even catch up. So, yeah, that gets cut short. But to answer your question, I feel like we're locked in enough to come back and then just be as locked in and gelled together as we were here as 4 months ago. Just because how we were coming together as a team, how we're practicing, how practice is going. Excuse some minor skirmishes, but at the same time, football is a man game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's passion and a lot of stuff behind it. So, we get mad about a decision or how certain things are going. But at the end of the day, we're brothers, we're teammates. We understand that the end of the goal is to win championships, go conference and handle business.
Yeah. Is there a lot of so in some teams, and even in Waldorf in the past, in some different programs, it can be really easy and to have an offense mentality and a defense mentality, two different sides of the ball, different coaches, different just you got different practice, you got different things going on, and so it's easy to get that one-upmanship or blame game going. Like, oh, the defense is crushing it, the offense is screwing it up, the offense is like, defense can't make it easy on us or whatever. And obviously that's not a good thing. Some of it's kind of probably fun just to have some back and forth. But where is Waldorf with that? What is the attitude of the teams? And ideally, I guess, does each side of the ball trust in the other side that they are going to give it their all?
I believe so. We, especially defense, most definitely is trusting in the offense that they're going to do their job this year, and vice versa. Just because we get Dom Watt back this year, that builds some more stuff. We get back Jordan Cooper. It's a lot of people coming back into this mix that something one missed out. But still in all, it's some days where defense comes out. Offense has a hot streak and Scully next year, but later on in practice, team happens and defense ends the day. It's more like that, where it wouldn't be like, oh, this practice defense is tanking or this practice offense is taking. Excuse me. I would say it's more periodical. I say in the sense in practice, we all get when we get one, they get one.
Right.
Some days they'll get one or two out of like how many periods we have to practice and run team and run certain things like Scully and stuff like 7-on-7 stuff like that. So with that being said, when I look at it, I see as, oh yeah, we're gonna dominate, because it's the fact that every day we come out as a defense and we get thrown crazy formations and we adjust to it and we cover it. And we make it actually difficult for our offense to run it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty behind it, because we're not sitting here watching film of our team or just saying, oh, yeah, we know we're going to do that. No, we're going to go through the install. We're going to look through what we need to work through. And then whatever they throw at us, we're going to adjust to it and execute. That's our mentality. And that's how I feel like we're going to be successful as a team together, because we are going to work together.
Do you ever have? Is there such a thing as a contest across the entire team, offense and defense? Like the offense says, we're going to score so fast that the defense isn't going to get a break. They're going to have to come right back out on the field, and the defense is like, okay, we'll show you. We're going to get the ball back so fast that you guys will not even get a chance to take your helmets off, sit down on the bench, and figure out something. Like, do you have anything like that?
No, not like that, but we have something similar. Mm-hmm. But it's more of like, getting the win, getting like 5-6 plays in a row, see where your one's at, see if you're able to cognitively lock into the play and lock into the formation and actually understand what you're doing. So, makes it a little strenuous, when you're trying to get some win and the coach is calling calls, you have to make adjustments. You see something wrong, you got to move people, So, I mean.
Who does the most? I meant to ask this last week with Edwan, and who is doing the most talking in the backfield? Is it linebackers or is it the corners? Who's calling the shots back there? Who's doing the most communicating, or is it the safeties?
All right, honestly, I'd say we communicate. The linebackers and the safeties communicate just about the same or more.
Okay,
which saying like, out of most of the positions, we're the two positions talking.
Right.
Saying either the safeties is calling out a check or calling out something for coverage, saying swap. Oh no, I need to get this guy. Whether the linebacker is saying fiddle, funnel, switching things around. You just never,
Corners don't have time to talk. They're just trying to catch their breath.
Yeah, my hips.
Yeah.
And most of the times, all the safeties and the linebackers are looking for is a tap on the helmet from the lineman or from the corners saying that, hey, I got what you said, got you. There's no need to keep saying, bam, I got you. We're locked in.
Right. Well, and because that's one of those things that I don't think anybody realizes a lot of different things especially on defense, is that there's so many different packages that you guys might run out in the field that, Nate's going to be that stalwart in the middle most of the time, but he might not be on the field all the time because, in game prep, they might see tendencies that, hey, when they get into that third and distance or something like that, this is what they generally do. So you might swap some people out. Plus the amount of talking that goes on, just everything on the south side of the front line, those guys making sure like what Nate said with the safety saying, being able to see something, go, oh yeah, this is what they're coming out, and remember that we got to look for this, or they might be, and that way, and then it's just like you said, tap the helmet, make sure, yep, I heard you, I understand, I got you, because you never know what they're going to throw at you, because they want to come out and fool you right away with, okay, this is how we're going to line up. This is how we have always done it, but we're always going to throw this at you just to try to make, it's the pre-snap, post-snap. What does it look like?
Yeah.
There's a ton of information out there. You guys have just got crazy amounts of stuff that you got to try to do.
Who's making this might seem like a dumb question, but now I've been thinking about this for a while, and I don't know the answer because I didn't play college ball, and I never asked my own kids this. Who orchestrates the what am I thinking of? Like, what's it?
I don't know.
This is all getting edited right now because
I hope so.
Have some good dumb question to tell you right now. I had a brain fart. What is the so your offense that you're going to run against, right? They're not scrubs. What is it called?
Formation.
Well, whatever. Whoever, like your second or third string guys.
The scout.
The skink. Thank you. Skink.
Okay.
Not skink.
Not
scout.
skink. Scout
Different.
team.
Oh, is the scout team here? Oh, I got to take a break, guys. Just a second. Yeah. The scout team. Who orchestrates the scout team? Are those offense typically the offense that aren't playing, or are they, or is it other defenders? And then who is putting together the other team's plays to get those formations so that you guys, because it sounded to me like it was like, hey, yeah, we watch film and we do our studying and we do our book work, but we are on the field as often as we can, immediate. We're trying to run against formations. We're not trying to, watch it on film. Is that what I'm getting from you?
For the most part, yeah. Like, we watch film in practice because the amount of formations our team runs, we knock out training for, preparing for other teams in the league. Mm-hmm. You know how our schedule is kind of weird. Half of our schedule starts with heavy run and, a little bit of mix of both. And then we go to the postseason where it's run heavy, then you keep throwing it. They just have throwing.
Yep.
So I feel like our offense keeps us on our toes while doing that, But who orchestrates it? This season, I don't know who orchestrates it now, but Coach G, does his best, and Coach Ward does his best, to have the information that we need to get better and fix what we need to fix to get back on there and compete. And yeah, the scout players are actually offensive. Most are offensive players that aren't currently in right now. But sometimes there's been times where we had defenders play scout and actually give us a great look. Sometimes, you gotta get a look,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a freshman, sophomore, I'd never mind playing scout because I saw it as fun, and as well as you're performing in front of,
Yeah, they're watching.
defensive coordinator and
Sure.
coach, so I feel like that's a great opportunity for you to show what you got.
Yeah, for sure.
Attitude plus effort.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I guess that's what I was kind of looking for that's what I thought. Kind of how it worked, but now I know.
Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit. We talked that you were at Benedictine or Benedictine, depending on tomato. How did you make your way up to Waldorf University? How did that go for you?
Crazy story. First, I made it here because I ended up being cut from the team. Long story short, so the ending of my second season for Benedictine, around game 5, we played Peru State. I was on starting on the punt block team. Went out there, try to almost block the punt, came down, rolled my ankle, out for the rest of the season. And then by the time spring ball is about to start, I get diagnosed with a high ankle sprain. Well, mind you, I had a second degree deltoid ankle sprain, which is the inner part of your ankle, which is like the bad ankle sprain, doctors people say, because it lingers. So then I got diagnosed 3 to 4 months later with a high ankle sprain, which also kept me out of spring ball.
Okay.
So I'm wanting to go in and try. I'm still lifting. I'm still with the team and stuff like that. But it's hard when I can't get on the field and do what I'm here to do.
Right.
And also, it doesn't help when when the team's going through coaching changes, where the previous coach came from, I forget, North Midwest something in Missouri. They were very good. But
Northwest Missouri State.
Yes, thank you, Northwest Missouri State.
They're all right.
He came there, and not even that long. I went through the entire spring ball.
Yep.
Up until the last 2 weeks, I'm thinking I'm still going to come back. I'm going to training, rehab, all that stuff. Thinking stuff is going to be the same. Ended up getting a call from my position coach. Hey, coach wants to meet with you. All right, go up there. Mind you, this is 2 weeks before the semester is over with.
Right.
So I go up there. Hey, you've been injured for a long time. We see you slipping a little bit in this area. I think it's about time we part ways. Yada yada yada. I kind of took that hard.
Yeah, devastating.
I mean, I don't know how you would go about somebody telling you can't do what you love and what you dream about every day. That opportunity has been taken away from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You feel me? And it's not even off of a behavioral occurrence. It's off of, injury and stuff like that.
You weren't shooting people on Friday night.
Yeah.
Not at all. So, and I just seen it as a learning experience, it was a very humbling experience. I had to look at myself, look deep down and do some growing and some learning. And then got in contact with Coach Finley. Came on over.
Yeah.
It's worked out pretty good for us. And I tell you what, that is a true indicator of the maturity as a player that you have because of the way that you just answered that question. It'd be really easy to be bitter and upset. And you said it was a humbling experience, learned something for it, got on the phone, adapt and overcome essentially. And so I really appreciate that. I think that says a lot about your character.
Well, exactly. The true test of any person's character is their response to adversity. And something like that, I said devastating, and it would have to be just the emotional aspect of like, what? And I'm putting in the work, man. And then, thanks for your time. We're going to go a different direction. But like you said, humbled you. You had to do some soul searching and things like that. That's what builds character, but that also shows character. So good for you, Nate. And hey, as much as that story is probably a sore spot in your world, I'm not too sad about it because you're at Waldorf now, and we couldn't be happier to have you here. It's
happy to be here. It's crazy. I don't even feel sad about the story anymore. I see it as like God does things in your life for a purpose.
Amen.
You know, I felt like God did that for a purpose. Whether he felt I was getting too complacent or I got, however he felt I was feeling, I took that as okay. All right, I'm not as hot as I thought I was. I need to back up. I need to reevaluate myself and lock into real life and lock into how I'm portraying myself. Because at the end of the day, this is a business. The sport is a business. College football is a business.
It is.
So I have to put on my best, bring everything together and project myself in the positive way, because at the end of the day, I'm business minded. I'm a business major, by the way. So, we
would have got there, but that's good.
Nice. Good. I like that. I mean, again, an indicator of maturity, how you view it. You don't hear a lot of college players talk about college football as a business. You hit the nail on the head. It is, right, wrong, or indifferent. The object is you got to do your part. That's why you're here. You pull your weight for the team. In exchange for that, there's whether it's scholarship. There's, at the end of the day, there's at the end of the road, there's a diploma.
Yes, sir.
And on to bigger and better, and to gooder things.
Yeah, the
gooder things. That's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
You talk good.
thank you.
Yeah, goodness sakes. Yeah, well, English is hard.
It
times.
is difficult.
It is. So you mentioned that you were a business major, and what if you had to write your own script? Do you have any desires or plans? Or are you just gonna trudge headlong into life and see what it throws at you, and let God steer the ship?
That's a great question. I actually have been thinking about that a lot. There's a lot of things I want to do in the business finance world. I'm narrowing that down, within this next year, because I graduate this time next year. So
You bet.
I'm narrowing that down, especially with my internship I'm choosing to pick this year. So, locking into that. And then basically, so let me give you the background. So I'm an accounting major. So I come from a long line of accountants. My mom was an accountant. My grandmother was an accountant. My grandfather was an accountant. It goes all the way back.
Can you give us a full account of how far it goes back?
Pretty far.
So it sounds like you. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was more than, they're doing it, I want to do it. No, like, it was the life I wanted to have for myself. Like, I noticed my mother would travel to business meetings, and she wouldn't have time a lot to stay at home with me. But at the same time, me thinking that as a 8-year-old kid, like, I'm still happy to see her. I might travel with her somewhere sometimes, but me being mature and looking at it from a life aspect, I would much rather be an accountant on the road, travel to different places and, dig my head in different sectors of finance and other places, and just grow upon that, instead of being that typical cubicle worker accountant, regular, hate my life,
Right.
I'm just stuck in the cubicle. No, I like to go outside, explore. I like to travel a lot. So, if I get a chance to do my job, travel and help people, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, and there might be, a time in your life where that flips, where you say, I'd like to, be in one place for a long time and have, a different schedule and that type of thing too. So yeah, by all means, that's a good way to go out and see what the world's all about. And hey, every business needs good accountants. There's no doubt about that.
Have you talked to DK Arndt here in town about Dave Arndt is a supporter of Waldorf football. His business is DK Arndt. They're an accounting firm here in Forest City. We're huge fans of them. We use their services, as a matter of fact,
we do.
in my own personal life. And at the Gridiron Club.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But Dave might be somebody you could reach out to see if he would have any work for you. Now, he'd probably like to have you around from about January 1st to April 15th.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a busy time of the year for him. But yeah, he and his staff and his office has always been extremely supportive of Waldorf University athletics, particularly football. So just a little plug for Dave. And Dave, if you're listening to this, buddy, I want to introduce you to my friend Nate.
And, Andy, it's not just DK Arndt that we would be super pleased to pass on information and publicize and promote here on the Gridiron Club podcast. Any of our corporate sponsors, or if you'd like to be a corporate sponsor, we have no problem just waxing poetic about all of our big supporters.
For sure. Okay. I feel like I got scolded there, Nate. What did you feel like?
No, you
I know,
didn't get. Oh my God!
I'm just
because I went from talking gooder to waxing poetic. That's going to happen sometimes. Accounting was not my field of study,
and good for you.
Yeah.
So
numbers,
the lineage. Your genealogy has to do with accounting, apparently, because, like you said, mom and grandmother and grandfather, they're all accountants. Did they all work together, or did it was just
no?
No.
They didn't work together.
Right. And it's interesting because you said something about how, when you're a kid and your parents out, doing the work, having to be gone, not getting able to spend time with you. And it's kind of tough. I had my dad was like that. He had his own business, and he was not an accountant. He was a plumbing, heating, electrical. But yeah, just to build his business, he was gone a lot, and you just didn't understand as a kid. But I think as you get older and mature, you really appreciate the sacrifices and the effort that they put in for your benefit. They weren't doing it for themselves.
Most definitely. I always tell my mom this. She stopped working. She stopped doing accounting, by the way, about 7, 8, probably 10 years ago.
Right.
But I tell her every day, I said, if you were still an accountant, all of our lives would be different. And then it was just jokingly, but we're still living good. It's just that I like the life that she had. But now what she does is she works for the Department of Education for Los Angeles County, helping out the detained youth, so she oversees that. So, I like you were saying sometimes you have to be stable and you have a calling to be in one place.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my mom's calling was to be in one place with her family and, and help a lot of people out there, because what she does is great. She helps out a lot of incarcerated youth.
Yeah.
Find them places to live and schools and stuff like that,
Yeah. Need people like that have that heart for helping others. But, you talked about being able to go out there and see the world and do what you want to do. I strongly encourage you to do that, because Nate, as a good looking young man, what's going to happen someday is that you're going to meet somebody that changes your life, and you're going to fall madly in love, and then you're not going to want to go anywhere, because you're going to want to spend all your time with them.
Mm-hmm.
So just prepare yourself for that. And, maybe beforehand you can, the two of you can travel. I don't know. But yeah, it's the way we all are. We all have visions of grandeur about touring the world, and then next thing you know, you fall in love. It's wonderful.
You make it sound so compelling when you say it like that. Like, yes, tour the world together. Let's go.
And I wouldn't change anything. Nate talked about how God sometimes intervenes.
Yeah.
All the things that have ever happened in my life that at the time I looked at as, this is horrible. This is really, really terrible. What I didn't realize is that, God's plan for me was to be here today, right now, doing this, talking to Nate with Troy. And I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't trade one thing that ever happened to me for this moment right here, because this is where I'm intended to be. And I'm happy, I'm grateful, and blessed.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. There's a few things I would eliminate from my past, but too late now. So glad where we're at. But I can tell you this, your experience as a football player and the practice, the preparation that it takes to be able to run those formations, do what you guys need to do to be, off. You're not learning new plays. You're not doing more installs, getting that to where you need to be. That's just being prepared. being at Waldorf, preparing for a career in accounting, whatever it happens to be, well, preparation leads to success no matter what life throws at you. You know that from the football field. Right. And clearly, regardless of what happens in the future for life, romance, travel, all of that stuff, if you're prepared, it'll be even if you're not in charge, which you're not really. I mean, God is.
Make a plan.
That's right. Yeah, adapt and overcome, just like giving Waldorf a call.
Hey, you got to make a plan. That's how I see it.
That's good. So what do you do when you're not looking at film or working out or playing football?
I actually do a couple other things. I am a photographer. I take pictures.
Oh, really?
I took some of the pictures for the team last year when I didn't play. The first beginning of the year.
I remember that now. Yeah,
loved it. Yeah, it was really fun. Real fun thing to do. That's I wouldn't say it's a hobby. I would say more of like a trade. I was just like a
side gig.
Yeah, because my uncle actually does it professionally. My stepdad actually did it to a level where he filmed me and my brother's football games all the way up until he went to college. So
holy smokes!
He gave me 2 cameras, 2 lenses, and said in a bag said, "Hey, I don't use this. I use some other stuff. So, but if you can find purpose for this, you can have it and you can use it." Ever since then, I found purpose for it and I've been using it. Last spring around this time, I used to walk around Forest City and take pictures of like the nature and stuff like that, like flowers, stuff that look pretty to me and like artistic in nature. So, I have a lot of pictures of that. It's really, really interesting,
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Well, and on a side note on that, I mean, what's it like coming from the LA metro area? Now you spend some time in Atchison, Kansas, which it's near St. Joe, Kansas City, stuff like that. So it's not like too far out of reality to come to the middle of a cornfield, to a little town in the middle of nowhere that we're super proud of. And was there any culture shock with that, or was it? What are some of the things that really stood out to you?
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
the biggest culture shock I had was at Benedictine. It wasn't even here. It wasn't even like when I came here. I felt more at home. I felt like people were more acceptable to me. Just coming to talk to me. Even in the sports, different sports. Professors and stuff like that were more accessible and came off more people per some. Not all of them, but most of them within my major, I took a liking to. So it made me feel comfortable and at home. And it was just different than Benedictine because slightly bigger, but it's a different purpose. It's just a different vision.
Okay.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, we love to hear that, because one of the things that, we talk about Waldorf football being the best small college football experience in America. And we want that for anybody associated with Waldorf football. You as a player, any of our coaches, fans, anybody. But even more than that, we want to make sure that the time that you're a member of our family here at Waldorf, part of our Gridiron family especially, that we want you to have a positive experience through and through. And we're proud of our community in the fact that they, by and large, whether at Waldorf, out in the community, they love having people in town that aren't from here so they can sit and talk. Because let's be honest, I grew up here. I have no idea what it's like to live in Los Angeles. Small town perception is that, that could be scary. Well, it's just traffic. I'm sorry. That's one of the things I can't deal with is traffic.
Yeah, I'm very impatient when it comes to traffic too. That's why I can't drive out here. Life is too slow. I'm sorry. I'd rather just stay with getting rides. But
too slow? We're too slow?
I mean,
that's probably we probably are compared to.
I ain't gonna lie. When you come to Los Angeles, it's like a speedway.
Oh, I know.
On the highway, so it's crazy. It gets gotta watch your six a lot.
My mother's uncle, and I'm talking. He's been gone for quite a few years, but back in the 60s and 70s, he drove an ambulance for the Long Beach Fire Department, and after he retired, he had an old pickup that I rode with him a few times out there in the Los Angeles area, and he drove like he's still driving an ambulance. And my God, and it was always like, all right, we're going to get over in this lane because this one's going to clear out because all these idiots are going to start pulling out in the other lane, and this one will start going fast. We'll be able to. I don't get it, man. 6, 7 lanes wide and, up on a bridge. And I still remember Uncle Floyd would always like, this is when, if the big one's going to happen, Zeke, it's going to happen while I'm on this dang bridge. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, I feel like I was instilled in me as I grew up. My mom, we always commuted as a child. Ever since I was in elementary to high school, I always commuted. So my commute consisted of at least 30 to 45, almost an hour to get to school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So average time wake up is 4:30, 5:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock. You're out of the house at 7, so it just keeps running like that. So when you run off of that type of timing, you have to create alternate routes to get to certain destinations. At certain times, this is going to be full because people are just waking up and that area is going to be saturated with people. So I'm going to go take this way.
Yep.
Thinking of streets over freeways or freeways over streets, if, that's possible. So just how you look at certain things,
Right.
Because I remember my 10th grade year, mind you, a crazy story about me. I went to 4 different high schools in high school, all 4 different.
Okay.
And the second one and the last one were like in the same area. I went to Thousand Oaks High School my sophomore year and ended up having to commute every day to school from Inglewood. No, at the time, and from Inglewood, California, all the way to Thousand Oaks, California. And even sometimes I'll even stay at night at some of the friends' house out there or with my coach, just to get out there. But I'm not, commuting is really nothing to me.
How long a drive time wise does it take one way? So that Inglewood out to Thousand Oaks.
See, that's the difference. See, going to Thousand Oaks, probably about like 45, 50 minutes. Now coming back in the afternoon,
trying to get back into
school
town.
Between 5 and 8. Yeah, it's crazy. You're looking about an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40 minutes almost.
Couldn't live like that.
You got to really like plan ahead where to say.
Exactly. What time supper? When I get home.
Yeah.
That's how some days, because my mom used to used to work in Malibu Mountains.
Okay.
And how my school was, where it was located at, Inglewood, you will go down the 405 freeway straight down. There's one way you can take 2 freeways out there, and then there's one way where you could go up the coast and then cut across the mountains and then get on the freeway and then be down there. So sometimes I always love going to the coast, even though it seemed longer, but it wasn't,
Right.
Seeing the view, seeing all these multi-million-dollar houses, I had a couple of friends live off of PCH. It's actually pretty crazy. So just seeing that and having that, that detour route, just coming from the freeway, you're on the freeway, seeing mountains and all that stuff. Then you're on PCH and you're like, oh, wow. Ocean, waves, sun, different, looking at Pepperdine University and other campuses built. It's just very, very
beautiful.
Beautiful,
yeah, for sure. California is a beautiful place, and the weather is pretty much fantastic all the time, I think.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So, pardon me, you mentioned that you like to do photography. Is there anything else that you do in your spare time?
Excuse me. Yeah, my cousin is a rapper,
Okay.
So I have a lot of friends that, do rapping and stuff like that. So along with photography, I tend to try to take up videography,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So looking at music videos, looking at just little content creating things, a little snippet of songs, or you're doing a cappella type of thing, whatever it is. Or, I also do stuff for the kids, so there's some trainers I work out with that trains younger kids, that trains youth and Pop Warner. So sometimes, I will be with my cousin, getting some content in with him, because he's also an athlete that's trying to go to the league as well.
Nice.
Very interesting guy. So I take pictures for the kids and stuff like that for other people's businesses and stuff like that. So to give them exposure and basically put them on a better platform and may have people look at them in a different light.
Yeah, it's got you have very interesting sets of
Yes.
hobbies, or you didn't call them hobbies, but side hustles or whatever. I like that, and it shows again a depth of character. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I'm sure that not everybody is walking around with a good hand-me-down camera that's saying, "Hey, make use of this if you can," and you do. So that's step 2. A lot of people don't. They might accept something like that, but then they never use it. So you do that, and then you find a way to expand it into some other possibilities. And it'll sure be interesting to see how it all ends up becoming useful. And it will. It'll surprise you. I think someday, 20 years from now, you'll be like, "Oh man,
It is.
that turned out to be a really valuable skill."
It's actually still exciting. I'm actually doing one of our former linebackers, making like pictures and videos of him training and stuff like that, so we can put him together for a like ending of college video type of thing. He's finna go to play arena ball.
Okay.
So
nice.
Shout out Tazi Allen,
Tazi, you bet.
So that's a great part to look at of things, helping out, people that, we barely know each other, but I tell you, we came together like family, so having that relationship with people, especially in this area, it's something special to have.
I'll tell you what, it'd be fun, Andy, to have. I mean, I don't know what you end up with that finished product for Taze, but that might be fun to share on the old Gridiron Club, whether it's Twitter or the Gridiron Club. Maybe we get our own YouTube channel,
multimedia content.
Yeah,
and those skills, those things like creating some of that digital media, photography, as you're playing around with it. Those are those artisanal skills that throw in some accounting as well. You're going to have a whole book of opportunities to be able to do things in your life. So that's really cool, and that'll be exciting to see. So you've mentioned a little bit about family earlier. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those folks that you have eagerly awaiting your return in another year after you graduate, if you indeed return?
Honestly, my family doesn't stray away too far from me. We're all athletes. There's 3 of us. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. Okay. So I have a younger brother and sister. My brother is named Nigel. He's about 18. Okay. Just went to college. He decided to go early. Goes to Utah Tech now.
Okay, good for him.
So plays running back. Looking forward to seeing him on the field. Then my sister, her name's Natil. She's still in high school. She's a sophomore in high school. So she's still working, but she's a killer shot put thrower. She just won third place in Houston with her school just yesterday.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, bright future for her. She's getting some looks in sometime soon, so we're just on the up and up as an athletic family,
Yep, absolutely. And you said mom's out in Inglewood still?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's your mom's name? Mom and dad?
Mom's name is Powell, and my dad's name is Donald. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. You can say anything. I don't know your folks. Are they going to be able to come out to Forest City and watch you play this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I look forward to meeting them. That'll be nice. It's always
they are out to come by the Gridiron tent there and visit with us, and for sure. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Nate, for taking some time talking to us and our listeners, so that they can kind of, because they're going to see the name and the number on the field, but they're never going to know the person. But this is going to give them a little bit of a glimpse, and hopefully, as they come down onto a Bull Store field after the game and celebrate your success and be able to say, hey, I know an accountant that would love to give you a job, whatever. Hey, would you take my senior pictures for me? Another side gig. So all those things. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come out here and to the bunker and letting us know a little bit about yourself. But one of the things we always like to do, especially with our players, is you get the final word. Is there anything you want to say to the fans or the family?
Well, for one, I appreciate you guys for having me, and I'm just going to say keep working, you know.
Oh, man.
Good, better, best, never let it rest. When you think you're good, is you're good. Let your better be your best.
Awesome. Great, wise words from a very mature young man. And every time we visit with these guys, Troy, they just impress.
They sure do.
All the time.
And that's a good thing.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you to Nate Davis, our linebacker here at Waldorf University. Can't wait to see what he's putting out in the field and then into the future. I expect nothing but great things, and I'd be surprised if it was anything but. So thanks, everybody, for listening to this edition of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. For Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington. And forever and always, go Warriors. You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club today by sending a check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
Or message us by visiting and like our Facebook page, Waldorf Gridiron Club. Or email us at waldorfgridironclub@gmail.com.
Or it's as easy as clicking on the Support the Show link on your phone. Become a patron of the Gridiron Club by choosing to support the program monthly. $100 is the black membership at $9 a month.
The $250 level is purple at $25 a month.
$500 is the Warrior membership at $45 a month.
The all-conference level is $750 or $65 a month.
$1,000 is the All-American membership at $85 a month.
The champion level is $125 a month, and that's $1,500 a year.
$2,500 is the Hall of Fame membership.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farmstead Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. The music is by Christian Leo. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a non-profit 501c3 organization dedicated to football student athletes of Waldorf University. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.